damn podcast.
Hello, Club Culture family. This is the first installment of Talks with T. I got my guy here, Khyle, with me. And so pretty much if you are new to Talks with T, this is something I started way in the early days of Club Culture. And the whole premise of it is basically to solo in and dial in more on my takes with stuff. I pretty much share Club Culture with my whole team and then guests. And sometimes my takes can get drowned out. And so this Talks with T is primarily just my takes and only mine. Sometimes I share with others, like I got my guy Khyle here, but we are here to celebrate the start of season 7 and also starting off really fucking strong. So, if you don't know, we went viral pretty recently on TikTok, stemming from the first episode 121. If you haven't, make sure you go check that episode out. But this first episode, we pretty much gonna talk about going viral and react a little bit more to some K-Dot news, K-Dot stuff.
Yeah.
Khyle, my guy.
What's up with you? How you feeling?
You know, man. Content. That's it.
Yeah, outrage. Nah?
Outrage, for sure. Yeah, somebody always fucking mad about something. So
Yeah.
We gonna get into it though. We gonna start with going viral. How was your first episode? That was your first official episode being a team member. So how was it for you?
It was a real good time. I had a great time recording it. I love talking to y'all. Me and T, if y'all don't know, we went to college together. We used to stay up till 7 o'clock in the morning and talk and stuff. We did this kind of recently too. But, I love talking to y'all. Jonesy, that's my dude. But it was a great time. I wasn't expecting the results to be like this so fast at all. I had seen the numbers that y'all have done before, but it still was just hit a little surreal this morning when I saw the numbers. Like, okay, wow, this happened. Yeah. And it happened now. I thought I always had the idea it could get there. Yeah. I didn't think it was going to be today. I'm like, damn, I'm just used to, stuff have to take a little longer to manifest and, really make things work. But things popping fast.
Yeah, man. Well, we had our little team meeting, and I said that one of the benefits of joining this team is the growth that you're walking into.
Right.
It's been a grind getting to even be able to go viral off of any clip whenever it feel like it. So
yeah,
that's just one of the benefits. I knew when I clipped that shit up that it was gonna all the clips. I knew it was gonna clip up and go crazy. And so I'm glad that it actually did do that. Because we wouldn't be here if it didn't.
Right.
So I actually just want to go through some of the comments first. I'm going to play the clip just for context. So I'm going to go to that real quick. Yes, man. Not that. Club culture. So we have went viral on TikTok. And these two clips are the ones that went crazy, but I more so want to talk about this one.
I don't think it's been enough attention about the little girl.
Because they don't think it's true since no little girl came out and said, yeah.
See, that's the thing. The shit, the shit don't get the attention that it's supposed to get. It was one girl who was talking about she can't say what happened with Drake because she signed the NDA. Now, obviously, she don't know how her NDA work either.
Nah, she don't.
Right? But guess what? Would a 17-year-old girl really understand it? Probably not. They got from when the 17-year-old girl was on stage.
She came out though with a tweet and she said, "You feel me? It wasn't."
You don't have to know you're a victim to be a victim.
When I saw that, I said that too. She just don't know that she was a victim, but he was a victim.
If I was 15 and Beyonce called me on stage, that would have been the fucking time of my life. Yeah, right.
Gee, Beyonce grabbed 15-year-old me. I'm lit.
You know what I'm saying? Right. I wouldn't, and if anybody ever said anything bad about her, I would be like, no, leave her alone. That was great. Yeah. Right? You know what I'm saying? But I know if y'all saw me do that with a 17-year-old girl, y'all supposed to whoop my ass together.
I shoot you.
Thank you.
Definitely shoot you.
You see what I'm saying? That's how that's supposed to go. It's way too many to be a coincidence. If I was a pedophile, they would have caught me by now.
No, they wouldn't have.
No, Drake.
The most pedophile that you could ever say.
To even
if
respond
I did
to
kill
those
him,
allegations like that,
no, you definitely got to respond.
Yeah.
You definitely got to respond. But see, that's the thing. If you call me a pedophile right now, I'm not going to say, man, if I was a pedophile, I'm going to say, man, don't play with me. Yeah, that's how I'm going to respond. I'm going to let you know, the next thing you say is going to lead to violence.
Just watch the damn podcast.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I meant all of that. I see some people didn't fully understand what I'm saying, you know. But I meant all of that. I'm glad that people were in the comments to correct the guy, you know.
Yeah, what guy are you? What
The guy
in particular are you talking about?
It was one person that said, "This is why men don't speak up about sexual assault."
Let me try to find that one. That's one of the most popular ones too.
Yeah, you know.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's Fast at Night. It's this guy's name.
Fast at Night.
Yeah, it's the top one when you open it. Yeah, 800 likes. It's insane.
Yeah.
Like no one was listening.
I got it on my phone. I'll probably take a little picture and put it on the screen, but sometimes social media is not fun because of how you can easily get misconstrued for what you're saying. Because you go ahead and take it away and break it down.
Right. So the guy who was saying this is why men don't speak up about being sexual assault victims, I believe he took me saying that if I was 15 and I got called on stage with Beyonce and she touched me inappropriately, that I would enjoy it. Yeah. It's me saying that all boys should enjoy it. Yeah. That's not what I'm saying at all. Yeah. What I'm saying is the responsibility is not on me to know that I'm not supposed to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. The responsibility is on the adult to not put a child in that situation. Mm-hmm. I was taking the responsibility away from the 17-year-old girls in the video when we were talking about Drake. I'm saying it's not on them. All people had crushes growing up, whether it was the women, a man, whoever it was, people that were older than you, who you looked up to. Beyonce was actually my first crush in real life, right? I was 5. Mm-hmm. I didn't have no business being anywhere near Beyonce. I never was, right? But I knew I liked her. Yeah. That's normal. That's how that's supposed to work. Now, if Beyonce liked me back, that's when the problem starts. Yeah. So what I was addressing was the people who say things like, oh, these girls know what they getting into. They know what they doing, all of that stuff. I'm saying that's irrelevant. Mm-hmm. Whether they know or don't know, the adult in the situation is the problem. The adult is the pedophile. The child can't be the pedophile. So when we're talking about pedophiles, we don't need to talk about children. We don't need to talk about whether or not children know that it was wrong, whether or not they know that that person was wrong, whether they should be with them or shouldn't. We're talking about pedophiles. I'm 26 years old. A 17-year-old girl can't walk in this room and do anything that's going to make me touch her because I'm not a pedophile. Yeah.
Did you see the comment that had said he was young too? Drake was young too when he was on stage doing that?
I didn't see that, but I know he was 23 or something, right?
Yeah.
That's not young enough to be with no 17-year-old. Like that, no.
Y'all be telling on yourselves.
Right.
So if you was 23, you would be okay with that shit too. You basically said he was young too, so no. Yeah. A 23-year-old should know damn well not to be fucking with a 17-year-old. That's crazy.
Right.
I've never watched that video in its full extent. I've only seen it on Twitter, and I just know that Drake kissed the girl and broke the girl when she was young. That's all I fucking knew from all these years. Even during the beef, I've never took the time to go watch the full video. I took his word, you feel me? But when I was making this clip, I watched the whole thing. Yeah. I didn't know it was that fucking bad.
Right.
I didn't know that. I was like, okay, the beginning of it, he didn't know shorty age. He did the little dance or whatever with her. But then when he learned her age and he doubled down and got worse with his interactions with her, I was so fucking shocked. I didn't know it was that bad.
After he found out the age, he did more.
He did more.
On stage,
with
at a concert.
Booing crowd.
Right.
They were booing him.
Right.
Don't do that.
Right. So what are we to believe that this man does when he doesn't have a crowd booing him, telling him not to do it? Right? I know what I believe.
Mm-hmm. I know what I believe too. I don't, please, this is not me defending Drake or anything. This is me playing just a slight devil's advocate. Mm-hmm. Let's say he was 23 and he needed to be educated that he shouldn't do that with a 17-year-old, right? Let's say that.
Yeah.
You are 30-something now. Do you still feel that way? You got social media. You do enough duck lips. You should be able to go on your story and respond and say, hey, that shit when I was 23 not cool.
Right.
I feel like that's at least what you could do for social media.
Right.
Sake, you know?
Yeah.
That's how I feel about that. Like, even if you are 23. How do you feel about it now? Because I think people deserve a chance to learn from their mistakes, depending on the mistake. But yeah.
Yeah, I think there are certain mistakes that people, deserve a chance to learn from. I think at 23, you should know, hey, this is a kid. I'm grown. I'm 23. I'm excited. I've been going to the club for a couple of years. This person can't go.
Yeah.
This person has to ask for permission to go. We shouldn't be together, right? Like, I do think that's one of those things that educating people kind of, it just doesn't do the job. I think sometimes people, they know what they're doing. It's like when we were in high school, you got the seniors who only wanted to talk to the freshmen, right? Like, okay, you know what you're doing, right? So I don't even know if it's a matter of education. I think it's just a matter of you being a freaky ass nigga, right? Yes. Like that's it. Yes. That's all it is. You a freaky ass nigga and you're gonna keep being one. And that's why he still be around all these kids. Like
and I saw some comments defending why that girl's on stage. Then his team brought her up. It's a bit that he would do because best I ever had was the hit song or whatever at the time.
Yeah.
And so he would bring up a girl, whatever city he is in, and say, "Is this going to be the one for me? Maybe, Shorty in Denver is the best I will ever have." Right. So that's where you get the little girl coming up on stage.
Right. But why couldn't they be grown women? Why couldn't the best you ever had be grown women? It didn't have to be a kid regardless. So maybe the team picked her. They didn't know. Mm-hmm. They thought that she was older, right? Mm-hmm. At the point where he asked her age, all of that responsibility is on him. After that, you asked her age and then continued to do a bunch of shit that you shouldn't do. Yes. You can't put that on anybody else.
It's the 4 fucking kisses to a booing crowd.
Right.
Cheek, forehead, lips. That shit was, I didn't know he did all of that in that video. Mm-hmm. And you got people still in the comment section, because I put the fucking video in the clip. Yeah. You still got people that probably didn't watch the whole thing or didn't care to even pay attention to that part of the clip. Mm-hmm. Talking about something, he ain't even do too much.
I mean, damn.
What else you want to do? You want to fuck her on the stage?
Right. You got to fuck her. You're not a pedophile if you don't fuck her, right? Like, come on, y'all. Come on, man.
That's all that he had to do left was fuck the little girl on stage.
And shit like that is just ridiculous to me. Like, ridiculous. And I think there are certain levels of fandom that people just should never reach. Yeah. And at the point where you are justifying pedophilia in any way, you just gotta really go back and reconsider everything that you think is correct. Even if it's 2 + 2, you really gotta ask yourself if it's really fucking 4. Because obviously a lot of shit that you know that you think is correct is actually just flat out fucking wrong. Mm-hmm. Because you defending a pedophile, it gotta be some of the worst shit that you could ever do besides being one.
Literally.
Like, what the fuck are y'all doing? And y'all doing this shit publicly. Like, we can see your names when you say this kind of shit. I see it. Like, that's crazy as hell to me.
And I go through every fucking comment. Mm-hmm. That's my job. I go through every comment. I see what all of you all say, so I have it pretty much in my head, a Rolodex of all that we should say in this video. Mm-hmm. I do appreciate everybody that had repeated what you and Jonesy were saying,
yeah.
You was like, if I was to do that with a 17-year-old girl, you feel me?
Yeah,
beat my ass. And
right.
Jonesy said, I would shoot you. And you said, thank you. That was a highlight to a lot of people in the comment section.
Yeah, I realized y'all like that. I meant it. Like, that's what's supposed to happen. Like, well, you doing pedophile shit. I don't think there's rehabilitation for everybody.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. And that's what I was kind of getting at when we were talking about the matter of educating Drake as a 23-year-old. Like, nah, you knew that shit was weird already. Yeah. You knew it already. You know how I know niggas knew it was weird, right? Because when I got to high school, I'm a freshman. It was like, I don't know what kind of event would have this high concentration of beautiful women in it. Mm-hmm. But whatever event you could think of, that's where I felt like I was when I walked into high school. Mm-hmm. And I thought I didn't have a chance with none of them because I was a kid. Mm-hmm. I was 13 when I got to high school. And then everybody found out that I was 13. So I'm like, okay, I really ain't got no shot now. Yeah. Because that's how it feels on the opposite side. Yeah. Right? Like, I can't get these older women. They don't want me. So at the point where I'm older now, why the fuck would I want the little girls? And so everybody who was doing that shit when we was in high school, the seniors, I'm on the freshmen. Y'all don't see them around me like that. Like, and didn't then. Because that shit is trifling and it's wrong. Like, there's no reason that you should feel like y'all are peers. in any way. And my thing with that, like even when we look at the high school version, right? Like none of those senior boys who wanted to talk to the freshman girls, none of their friends were freshman boys. So like y'all don't socialize. Y'all not supposed to be interacting like that. You know that already because none of your friends are freshman boys. So why are you trying to fuck the freshman girls? Same thing as a 23-year-old man. He's not walking around with anybody that's 17 unless he calling them little bro or doing whatever. That kind of relationship exists, right? But like they recognize that there's a difference, that y'all are not the same. So why would you be trying to fuck this 17-year-old girl unless you just strictly don't give a fuck? And if you don't give a fuck, that makes you a pedophile. Like, the math is that simple. There's really, like, you can't even argue shit like that. Like, that's what a pedophile is. I like people that are young and I don't care.
Somebody has said regular people don't get called pedophiles.
Yeah. Like,
I want to assume that they meant he's a celebrity. Celebrities get called that than like a regular person ain't got to deal with being called a pedophile.
Oh, well, no, that's not true.
That's not
See,
true.
and I guess that might be my interpretation of the comment because I was thinking he was saying like regular people don't get called that. Like if by the time somebody's calling you a pedophile, you did some irregular shit. And that's why you got called it. Yeah. So I guess, whichever way.
That's how I interpret his comment.
Yeah. So I hope he meant it the way that I meant and not saying that he only gets called that because he's a celebrity because you look up, that person has never looked at the sex offender registry. Yeah. Ever. And he doesn't know it's 3 of them that live on his block, probably. Literally. But,
It's a lot of fucking pedophiles.
Right.
You just gotta do a quick Google search.
Yeah.
It's a lot of... Nigga, we all go to school with the people that was dating people in high school that was freshmen. Like, we all have these stories.
Yeah.
You just don't call them pedophiles yourself, but they are pedophiles.
That's
what a pedophile is.
Right. Like... So that whole thing is crazy to me that people can find anything in them to defend that or to ask, where are the parents? Like, how does that matter? How does that fucking matter? Like, whether or not the dad was in the crowd with that girl or the dad abandoned her and was non-existent in her life, no matter what the situation is, how does that change whether or not somebody is a fucking pedophile? Like, how does that change that? It doesn't.
I always say, the crime can't happen unless the criminal does the crime. Right. The parents they say the same shit with R. Kelly and them, and I always have this same defense. It don't fucking matter if the parents was to go pull the girl's pants down in front of R. Kelly. R. Kelly still has to do the assault for the assault to happen. Right. The parents have a different crime. Right. But it's not assault.
Yeah. It's like the parents can't consent for you.
Yeah.
They can't consent for you or revoke that consent. So why are we talking about parents in a situation where we should be discussing pedophiles?
We should separate that, and that's a whole totally different conversation.
Right. Like we can have a whole different episode about people being bad parents or good parents or anything like that. But when we're talking about the pedophiles, unless the parents were touching the kids, we shouldn't be talking about the parents. We should be talking about the pedophiles. Yeah. Any effort to direct us to something other than the pedophile is a defense of a pedophile.
I agree.
That's a defense of a pedophile. When you say, oh, where are the parents? That's where you want us to divert our energy. So that means you don't want us to divert our energy, to give our energy to the pedophile. That's a defense. Yes. You shouldn't do that.
It's actually so fucking annoying when you read through comments that do that same thing. They deter us away from the actual point and concept of the clip. Right. Talking about meaning. The dude that you said with the whole, this is why men don't speak up about sexual assault. Right. Yes, great, important thing to talk about. But this is not the space right now to talk about it. We're not talking about that. Right. Go make a different TikTok. And let's talk about that.
Right. And I don't even think that guy really disagrees with what I was saying. Yeah, no. Because if you listen to what I said about, okay, this young boy enjoys what happened to him, so he doesn't think something bad happened to him. That is the same. Like, of course he doesn't go and speak up and say something bad happened. Yeah. Because he doesn't think that. Yeah. So yeah, he doesn't come forward because he doesn't think it was bad. I'm saying that it's like an example of, sometimes with kids and they might ask their mom for something, the mom say no, and then the grandparents give it to them, right? It's like the kid isn't supposed to say, oh, nah, this candy nasty as hell because my mom said no. Nah, the candy's still good. Your grandma gave it to you, and now they can argue about it. but the kid is gonna eat the fucking candy. So it's like, yeah, the kid who got touched on this older woman, he thought he was a player because, well, no, I pulled this older hoe, whatever it is that he's thinking. Okay, yeah, it's not on him to realize that he's wrong. Yeah. It's not on him to realize that that's not how that works.
Why do you all want to hold kids, the youth, accountable? Like, why do we want to hold the youth accountable so much about being young? Like, I don't get that.
Right. Being young and not knowing shit that they're not supposed to know yet. Like, that's it. And it's so many adults who don't realize until later that they were the victim.
Yes.
Right? Like, people who are in their 30s, 40s realize, like, damn, okay, yeah, I really was a victim. To put that on some kids is crazy.
It is crazy.
I think putting any responsibility on kids is crazy.
I hate when people say, why now? Why say something now?
Right.
That's why.
Like, the guy talking about, the one who said, if it's true, why Kendrick ain't been said something? Like, I don't know. Why the fuck he ain't speak up? That don't matter to me. Now that he spoke up and niggas know he's a pedophile, that's what we should be talking about. Yeah. We shouldn't be talking about why it took him so long. It's like how they was doing with Bill Cosby shit. Why all these women wait till he 85 years old to say he got raped? What say they got raped? Did they rape him? Did he rape the women?
Yes.
That's what we talking about. We not like, nobody talked about when, how, or any of that shit. It don't matter. Did you do it or did you not? If you did it, then you can say that shit for as long as you live. You get on your deathbed and decide that you want to tell us something happened to you. You had a right to do that. Ain't nobody tell you, oh yeah, shit, you should have been said that shit. We don't care now. If you don't care about people being raped, you are defending the rapist. That is some of the worst shit you can do next to being the rapist. It's that simple.
I agree.
Like, it's that simple. That shit is ridiculous. Like, how does time make a difference?
The action still happened.
And probably happened again because they thought they got away with it because all that time happened, right? So then when you look at Bill Cosby and they say, 40 women, he ain't rape all their ass. Why not? That nigga thought he got away with it.
He at least did one.
When people get away with shit, they do it again.
Yeah.
That's what happens, right?
Yeah.
Ain't nobody who got caught stealing. Everybody that y'all know is a thief. Anybody in your life that you know is a thief. You think they stole one time? That's not how that shit works. Like, that's not how that shit works. You think anybody that sold some drugs only sold a little bit of drugs until they got enough money? Hell no, they said shit.
That's what they tell themselves when they started.
That's what they say. You always say when you gonna quit. I only need this and then I'm gonna do something else. But damn, once that money coming in, it's hard, ain't it?
Yeah.
It's hard as hell. So it's like, no, that ain't how that shit work. People get away with shit and do it again. That's it. Motherfucking cheating on you. Same shit. I know a lot of y'all fellas hurt now. You got cheated. You got cheated on. Did they only cheat once? Was it only one woman? Was it only one dude? No, they thought they got away with it and they kept fucking doing it. Like that's it. So yeah, time passed.
You got any more comments? Because I got one that I want to give some time to, but I'm gonna let you get yours out.
Oh no, that was just about just fast that night. I hope he gets what's going on now. But I do appreciate all the people who responded to him before I did to say, that's not what they were saying, and you heard what you wanted to. I really like that.
I had a whole little message typed up to respond, and then I said, let me just actually take advantage of this. Because I was going to correct them like, nah, that ain't it.
Yeah.
Some stuff you just got to let slide. You just can't reply and defend, or correct all the time on social media because they really don't really care about. Yeah. They just want to be right.
Yeah, they misunderstood and don't really care about understanding. Yeah. And then they take it personally. I think sometimes when you tell somebody that they misunderstood things, they take it as like a slight or that they weren't smart enough to get it. Yeah, and it's like, no, it's not that. Like how me and you just had two different interpretations of the same comment. That's it. So one of us is right and one of us is wrong. He meant one of those things.
We both wrong.
Right, we could both be wrong. He could have meant some whole other shit we ain't think about. Yeah. But that don't make us dumb. Like, that's it. So sometimes you misunderstand shit, and that's what it is. Like,
this is some ego shit I don't really give a fuck about. So we did the work to actually be confident in our intellect.
Yeah.
So it's only been like 3 comments of this that I've seen so far, but I feel like it's very important for me to at least address it. For the people that are new to the podcast and found us through that clip. So one that stuck out to me was why the woman trying to back up Drake on this. That's weird behavior. So he was talking about me in that clip. I guess to him, I appear as if I'm defending Drake. And so I responded from the pod page and I said, trust me, she's not defending him. That wasn't enough. He then said, she did bring up both points in defense of Drake, though. Weird behavior. And so then I said, we are all lost on how you interpreted defense from this clip. When she literally said, when I saw that, I said that too. She's a victim.
Right.
And so then he said, in quotations, because they don't think it's true because no little girl said yeah. And then she came out with a tweet and said it wasn't like, I know she run the podcast, but damn, that's what I heard. So at that point, I stopped responding because clearly you just want to be right.
Right.
And you don't want to be corrected.
Yeah. And it was like, once you said she's a victim, that's it. Saying that the reason we don't believe it is because X, Y, and Z is not saying that we shouldn't believe it.
And I didn't say we. I said the reason why I don't think people believe this shit is because of this.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you interpret me. Nothing in that was any cues to it at all.
Yeah. I think sometimes people have a problem understanding, like, I can address the other side without being on that side.
Yes.
Like, I have to address why they think certain things to address why they shouldn't think that. It's that simple. So I'm not saying, oh yeah, shit, I don't believe it either because ain't no girls come forward. No, she said, this is why the general public doesn't believe it. This is why X, Y, Z, these people can get away with these things because people need to see the face. They need to see the victim. It's like the in Diddy case right now, they made this victim use her real name and shit because that's gonna add the validity. Like, no, it shouldn't. Us knowing that this person is behind the wall saying this happened to me shouldn't make a difference from her being behind the wall or her coming out in front of us sitting on the camera with us. Mm-hmm. She said it happened to her. Do we believe what she said? Does it make sense? That should be enough. But it's not for a lot of people. And that's all you were addressing. Not saying that you didn't agree. Like,
I honestly don't know how to defend myself, to be honest, because I don't know how you interpret it that way. Like, I verbatim said that is also what I said. She is a victim.
Yeah.
She just don't see it that way.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to defend that, but you know, sometimes you just gotta let them people. You gotta let them have it. But I personally felt disrespected. I don't really feel disrespect. I don't take shit personally, but I felt disrespected because I know how passionate I am about sexual assault.
Right.
Like, I'm probably the one person that you don't play around with that shit. Right. Like, yeah, you too. But my whole life and everything I do is to put back into that particular thing of survivors of sexual assault. Right. So don't fucking play with me.
Yeah, it's like how I said in the clip. You know, you call somebody a pedophile, we should fight about it.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
I will fight your ass over that. Like, I felt so disrespected when you said that shit, bro.
Yeah, you know, like
all right.
Sometimes people just don't want to understand.
Yeah, they don't. There was one particular person that I am going to stitch their comment in a TikTok video that had wanted us to pretty much review or deep dive on Kendrick Lamar's Whacked Out Morals. And so I think that we could take the time to do that in this video.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring up...
I like that song.
Okay, I'm going to bring up that song.
See, that's the thing, like, this interview. I don't think it's been enough.
Okay, where's that? So I got the lyrics, because I want to make sure we don't miss out on nothing.
Yeah, I got them up too. I was prepared.
I got the lyrics for us.
Yeah.
Did you ever take the time to go actually listen to the rest of the project?
Oh yeah, yeah. I listened a few times, more than a few. I ain't gonna lie. I like this probably the Kendrick Lamar album I like the most out of all of them. Y'all never been a big Kendrick fan, but I like some of the shit he got on here. I like that Dodger Blue a lot.
Yeah, people been fucking that song up.
Yeah.
Doing what's it called? Little line dances and stuff to it.
No, somebody gotta teach me one.
Yeah, they
gotta teach me one. I like that. Yeah, they say he been making stuff for his mama to step to. Mm-hmm. So every album he got a song on there, and that's the one. You know, I be stepping and shit. I like that. So I felt it as soon as I saw that. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, somebody gotta teach me something.
Okay, so I'm gonna start this from the beginning.
Siento aquí tu presencia. La noche de anoche. Y nos ponemos a llorar.
gonna stop because I don't want to miss out on anything that we can research. So I'm gonna put that in. Freak.
I'm just trying to get to what that means.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it right here. I feel your presence here, the night of last night, and we start to cry. That reflects in your gaze, the night, you and me.
Okay.
What
are you gonna say?
I think it's about, I think he put that in there about us feeling his presence with like a mural and shit. Like, you know how they got the big one with Biggie in New York, everybody go take their pictures with. It's like that man been dead 20-something years, but you still feel his presence there, right? And he got his mural on the wall in LA, and somebody fucked it up because they ain't want to feel his presence. You know, I think that's where we're going. A lot of shit he does, it be real deep, and people think we be reaching and shit all the time, but like, I think that's one of those. Because I was trying to understand, like, why in Spanish? What are you saying? You know? I think it was just that. I feel your presence with this mural, the Super Bowl, anything like that. It's letting y'all niggas know, hey, he's here. You got to deal with him.
I think the Spanish thing just ties in the whole vibe of the GNX and just incorporating the Latino community in his project because it's really big in LA with Black and Brown.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that too. They said that he saw her performing at a Dodgers game or something. And was like, oh, I like her. Got her on there. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yesterday somebody whacked out my mural. That energy'll make you niggas move to Europe. But it's regular for me, yeah, that's for sure. The love and hate is definite without a cure. All this talk is bitch made, that's on my lord. I kill them all before I let them kill my joy. I done been through it all, what you endure. It used to be fuck that nigga, but now it's plural. Fuck everybody, that's on my body. My blick first, then God got me.
The first just beginning to the verse. This right here, I'm gonna go back to it. I felt the intro to the song because it speaks to exactly what I just said I was disrespected by. Because I dedicate my life to being incorporated in social justice. It's not easy to be a good person.
Yeah.
I think the easiest fucking thing you could do is be a bad person.
Yeah, for sure.
And so choosing to dedicate your life to a particular concept that many don't want to fucking understand or are really hurt from, so they can't really listen to you or want to see that you want to help them. Yeah. It's hard to do that every fucking day. Yeah. And so Kendrick Lamar choosing to be different from a lot of our hip hop artists, choosing to put out positive music or just music that is thought provoking and is not just get y'all ass shaking music. Yeah. It's exhausting sometimes because now you comparing me to a nigga like Drake. Right. That I know I can kill in a battle and did. Yeah. Yeah. And so for you niggas to disrespect me and go destroy a mural like that shit lame as fuck. Yeah. You know.
I think everything you said was correct. And I think he also was saying he don't give a fuck. Yeah. I think that's that extra added piece. And he's saying like that energy make you niggas move to Europe. I heard Drake over there or something. You know, that's what they say. I don't know. But like he said, the shit that I, brush off, you niggas can't deal with. Yeah. And that's what he say, what you endure. I've been through all of this. Yeah, I think that's the whole message behind a lot of shit. Like, I could take the shots and keep going.
It get to a point where you know that's a part of the game. Like that's the work that you sign up to do. You gonna have a lot of people push back on you because they're not ready to change.
Right.
Bitch made, that's on my lord. I kill them all before I let them kill my joy. I done been through it all, what you endure. It used to be fuck that nigga, but now it's plural. Fuck everybody, that's on my body. My blick first, then God got me. I watch them pander with them backhanded compliments. Put their head on the Cuban link as a monument. I pay homage and I'll always mind my business.
So I've been seeing a lot of people talk about that bleeped out part. What do you think he was probably saying?
Look, I had a lot of theories until I saw this one video of this one guy say, I think he said, I made the motherfucker stop touching them children. And when he said, now I can't hear shit else but that guy who said it, you know, and it's like, it could have been something else, definitely. But I think, you know, he got the job done making us question it, for sure. But I don't know exactly what it could have been. But I'm thinking it was something along those lines.
I like that. I didn't hear that, but I like that because there's no need to bleep out some shit that wouldn't put you like under a microscope of knowing that a lawsuit is coming.
Right.
So I like that conspiracy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never lost who I am for a rap image. There's motivation if you wonder how I did it. Yeah, nigga, going up your rank. Know you a god even when they say you ain't. Yeah, nigga, keep your feelings out the way. Never let no one put smut up on your name. Yeah, nigga, keep your head down and work like I do. But understand, everybody ain't go like you. Yeah, nigga, if they say it's love, you been lied to. A couple rules of engagements, I'ma guide you.
Que reflejan tu mirada, la noche tú y yo.
Riding them.
What was that?
At that part?
Yeah, you got that?
Yeah, that was when she said that reflects in your gaze the night you and me. At that part. So they put everything in there together. At the beginning, she was just saying, I feel your presence here. The night of last night, and we started to cry. Then this part, she said, that reflects in your gaze the night you and me.
Okay. The night you and me. So Kendrick and I, we're like together.
He's talking to you.
Talking to you, yeah.
Yeah, you know, that's the way I'm hearing. Like I see, right after she says that, right after he say, you know, a couple of rules of engagement. I'm gonna guide you. Like I'm here. I'm about to give you this game. Nigga, I need you to get it.
Yeah.
Nah, I think that's what that was supposed to mean.
Okay.
And next with Anita Baker and the team deck, it's gonna be a sweet love. Fuck apologies, I wanna see y'all geeked up. Don't acknowledge me, then maybe we can say it's fair. Take it to the internet and I'ma take it there. Miss my uncle Lamar, he said that he would kill me if I didn't make it. Now I'm possessed by a spirit and they can't take it. Used to bump the Carter 3, I held my rolly chain proud. Irony, I think my hard work let Lil Wayne down. Whatever though, call me crazy, everybody questionable. Turn me to an Eskimo. I drew the line in decimals. Snoop posted tailor-made. I prayed it was the edibles. I couldn't believe it. It was only right for me to let it go. Won the Super Bowl and I'm the only one. Congratulate me. All these niggas agitated. I'm just glad they shown their faces, quite frankly. Plenty artists, but they outdated. Old ass flows trying to convince me that you they favorite. This is not for lyricists. I swear it's not the sentiments. Fuck a double entendre. I want y'all to feel this shit. Old soul. Bitch, I probably built them pyramids. Ducking strays when I rap battled in the Nickersons. Where you from? Not where I'm from. We all indigenous against our lies.
Now that part, I was a little confused on where you from, not where I'm from, and then he said we're all indigenous.
He said,
Where you from? Not where I'm from. We all indigenous. I didn't get that.
Because the Nickersons is some projects out there. I think that was just another shot at Drake. Like I don't think he was speaking like indigenous people, like, you know, the Native Americans in that way. I think he was just saying like, we're from America and you're not, nigga, you're from Canada. I think that was it. I think he just used a lot of words that, you know, he maybe didn't have to, but I think it's that because he's saying ducking strays when I rap battle in the Nickersons, where you from, not where I'm from. We all indigenous. Like, this what I was going through, this what I had to deal with, this what was going on. You're not from here. You know, I that was my interpretation of it. I don't think he was saying we the indigenous people.
See, I got real pro-black with that, and that's why I got a little confused on what exactly he probably meant. Because I thought that he was getting into his little history bag like he did not like us with the whole Atlanta shit.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how if you know your history with the slave trade, a lot of us were actually born here and we weren't born in Africa. Majority of the births happened here. And so we all indigenous to this land. And then that would make sense because Drake's not even from America. He's from Canada.
Yeah.
We're all, everybody, all the real blacks, we're indigenous here.
Yeah.
That's how I took it, but I didn't know if I was correct.
See, I felt like he definitely could have meant that, but I feel like that line of thinking is so it isn't mainstream enough for me to say for sure that that's what he meant. But he is the kind of nigga that I think me and him could have that kind of conversation about, like, you know, whether or not we was already here, that they bring all these millions of people from Africa, like the way that they're saying. I think me and him could talk about it. And so it's definitely a possibility. That's one of those things that I think a lot of Drake fans would say, oh man, y'all reaching, y'all try and make everything that deep. And they wouldn't necessarily be wrong, only because it's just not enough confirmation that he meant that. Like, I just think the idea isn't widespread enough for me to say, oh yeah, he meant what I think. Because I do think that, like, a lot of us were here, you know, just thinking about the conditions of the travel and all of that shit. Like, I'm not saying that they did not take people from Africa. Do I think they took 6 million people?
This is facts. This is what researchers have came out. And you go to the Black, is it called the Black History Museum in Memphis?
The Memphis, yeah.
That one, it's a whole little slab that they have displayed talking about how 80 or 90%, one of those percentages was on that slab of us were all born here.
Yeah.
We weren't born in Africa and brought over. A lot of us were all born here, and the people that were brought over were the ones having babies here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do think that. Are we skipping past Lil Wayne and Snoop?
Oh, I would say that for the last.
We go at the end, we'll wrap up with Wayne and Snoop.
Yeah.
Cool.
Indigenous against all lies, I scrabbled up for them dividends. Against all lies, I showed up as a gentleman. I done lost plenty friends, 16 to be specific. Put that on my kids' children. We gon' see the future first. They like that big trip, and I just want what I deserve. What bridge they done burned, all of them is over with. I'm doing what COVID did, they'll never get over it. Yeah, nigga, going up your rank. Know you a god, even when they say you ain't. Yeah, nigga, keep your feelings out the way. Never let no one put smut up on your name. Yeah, nigga, keep your head down and work like I do. But understand, everybody ain't gonna like you. Yeah, nigga, if they say it's love, you been lied to. A couple rules of engagements here to guide you. Niggas from my city couldn't entertain no boy. Promising bank transactions and even Bitcoin. I never piece it up, that shit don't sit well with me. Before I take a truce, I'll take them to hell with me. If that money got in the hands of a crash dummy, could jeopardize my family and burden the ones who love me. Niggas mad cause I decided not to pretend. Y'all stay politically correct, I'ma do what I did. Ain't no sympathy here, this shit's hilarious. It's a lot of opinions but no power to carry it. 2025 they still moving on some scary shit. Tell them quit they job and pay the real niggas they severance. Don't insult my intelligence, I'm not just for the television. Teleport the bullets rolling, dig up all my relatives. Okay nigga, let's settle it. These niggas been fake loyal since y'all pandering to choose a side. Let me do it for you. Okay, fuck your hip-hop. I watch the party just die. Niggas cackling about all of y'all is on trial. Niggas thought that I was
Cackling about what?
Diddy.
Okay.
Who else?
Niggas cackling about Diddy while y'all all was on trial.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all niggas can't sit there talking about no Diddy and shit. Y'all on the same shit with Diddy? Y'all was at the parties? I was at the freak offs.
When I stayed inside of my house, you better off to having one woman. Everything tricky right now. You niggas live in the now. Ain't fuck anybody empathetic to the other side, I vow. Bitch nigga love bitch niggas, they exist with them in style. Exterminate them right now. Make cat wins and them proud. The truth about to get loud. No juice inside of my cup, I sober up and knock them all off. Don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman that's law. I know probably gonna work for them and fuck whoever that's close to them. The niggas that coon, the niggas that being groomed. Slide on both of them. You ever ate Captain Crunch and proceeded to pour water in it? Pulled over by the law. You ran dirty so you can't argue with them to make it to be a star. Bear your soul and put your heart up in it. Well, I did. Whack the murals out, but it ain't no legends if my legend ends.
That's a bar.
Explain that bar.
That's a bar. I like that one. The niggas say whack my murals out. Whack the murals out. It ain't no legends if my legend ends. And he addressed all these niggas who supposed to be great. Think this Drake, J. Cole, Wayne, Snoop, all these big name people. And it's like, you know, shit, if y'all do that to me, whack out my murals, y'all don't want to see me win, y'all don't want to see me succeed, then it gotta be fuck all of y'all. If I'm not a legend, then y'all ass ain't either. Ain't no legends. I think that's what he's saying. And I don't know if I agree, but I feel him. I feel him. I like the attitude behind it, definitely.
I mean, I agree with him if I was in his position and
100%.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. If I was Kendrick Lamar, that's exactly how I would feel.
Yeah.
You know. I don't know if Khyle agrees, but yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. It's a bunch of shit that was said in this that I feel like we can speak to.
Yeah.
Certain people have responded to the project.
Like Snoop
Dogg, so he cleared it up. He said, yeah.
Snoop said it was the edibles. He said it was the edibles. I love that. Yeah. I love that Snoop didn't get in his feelings and go tweeting about all this destruction that he could bring and shit, like Lil Wayne did. But, Snoop said it was the edibles. And it makes sense, because when Snoop posted the shit, I was confused. I'm like, Snoop, you don't hear this verse on this song that you never rapped? Like, why are you doing this? I think Snoop probably, he about my parents' age. I be seeing them look at shit and just think it's cool, not really understanding what's going on, I think it was just that he didn't really get it. Yeah. He said it was the edibles. And I'm happy. I love the fact that Kendrick gave him a chance to clear that up. And he didn't just smoke Snoop. I didn't want to see that happen to Snoop. I love Snoop. Like, for real, I named my dog Snoop. I love Snoop. But like, I didn't want to see him get in that line with Kendrick. Now Lil Wayne, on the other hand, I would love to see that escalate a little bit. Because I didn't like the way that Wayne was acting after the Super Bowl.
I didn't like that shit either.
I didn't like any of that. I didn't like the tweet after this song came out. He was talking about he prepared for destruction and stuff. Because where was that destruction?
Before the destruction, he said, what the fuck I do?
Right. That's what he told me, what the fuck I do. And it's like, you just did a bunch of fucking crying and shit. But I know that Lil Wayne, I don't believe he's capable of destroying anybody, because he got on the song and said, fuck Pusha T or anybody that love him. His head up his ass, I'm gonna have to headbutt him. You don't go against Kendrick Lamar with shit like that. He didn't go against Pusha T with shit like that, and that's how Drake ended up in it. And we saw how that went, right? So like, Lil Wayne probably should go sit down somewhere. And if I was Drake, I would be mad as hell. Like, damn, you got something to say about him now? What about when he was saying all that shit about me? You ain't got nothing to say? You ain't got nothing to say then? I thought we was cool. Yeah. But shit, that's how Nicki Minaj felt. She was on Twitter talking about she's speaking up for people that wouldn't speak up for her and shit like that.
Like a goofy?
Yeah,
goofy shit?
Yeah, I'm gonna be careful what I say about Nicki.
I don't care.
I care a little. Y'all don't harass me. I don't want it. I don't want it.
That
but
shit weird as hell.
Yeah,
I don't care. Why would you defend someone that's not defending you? Why would you do that?
Because of who the enemy was supposed to be, and for her, it's bigger to shit on Jay-Z than it was to leave that alone. Even though it's like, the whole Jay-Z is against Nicki Minaj thing has just been so silly to me anyway. But
Another story.
Yeah. Story. But that's the thing. So it's like, it was easier to just look at and say that it's the powers that be conspiring against her. Rock Nation will crumble. But obviously, since they're the ones that picked Kendrick, it got to be against. He did that to spite them. And it's like, how? Like,
bro, I never got this little negative connotation that Rock Nation has gotten since Nicki Minaj been tweeting about this shit.
Oh yeah.
I've never gotten it, and how no other label that's ran by actual white faces.
The people that Drake is suing now.
That have the same negative connotation.
Like the shit is crazy, and the thing is like Rock Nation just doesn't have the power that the people think they have.
Yeah.
Like, I think they would have a lot more success if they did, I watched Jay-Z go to the Grammys, nominated for 8 of them, and lose all of them. The year after Rihanna went nominated for 8 Grammys and lost all of them. Like
he still has to go on stage to defend his wife.
Right. So, they take that wrong, and they think that somehow that he is doing all of this with Kendrick Lamar to spite them, even though Drake and Nicki and them, y'all don't have no fucking Grammys. Like, if he is so worried about Beyonce getting Album of the Year, why would he go against y'all? Y'all niggas don't win them. Would he go against Taylor Swift or some shit like that? Like, wouldn't he try to spite them?
Yeah.
None of that ever made any sense. And I think, like, looking at the year that Kendrick Lamar had, thinking that there had to be any kind of conspiracy for Kendrick Lamar to be chosen for the Super Bowl is crazy. Because, like, it's crazy as hell. Like, damn, look, everybody, if I go outside today, I'm going to hear Not Like Us once. I'm going to hear it today.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to hear him screaming mustard and shit, right? Like, look at the year that this nigga had. And look at how, like, when Usher got picked last year, right? He was going viral all the time doing the shows at Vegas and stuff. And cool, now you're ready. And then took that and did a whole tour after. I went, too. It was great. Usher's amazing. But, like, I don't think that the Super Bowl had anything to do with that. And I think the idea that it was supposed to be Lil Wayne was just fucking crazy to begin with.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if this Super Bowl was not in New Orleans, nobody would have ever thought, you know who should perform at the Super Bowl? Lil Wayne. Nobody would have ever said that shit. So the fact that it's in New Orleans, I get the idea, yeah, it would have been cool, nice little moment and all of that, but like, have y'all seen a nigga performing recently?
We talked about this already in the pod. I ain't got too much to say about Lil Wayne and his performance abilities.
I got a lot to say. I'm gonna shut up. Yeah. I'm gonna take my cue, but damn. And then I think, and it's how he's acting and shit like that. And that's why I think Kendrick had to say this about him. I can't believe I let Lil Wayne down. And I don't think he cared. I think it was a joke. Yeah. The same way I think it was just about, you know, J. Cole. I think most of that was about him. Mm-hmm. Especially the bitch niggas love bitch niggas and all of that shit. Like, man, that was tough. I hate that J. Cole had that happen to him. But the whole...
Sometimes this could be a talking point we can't talk about. Sometimes you do have to choose a side. Do you agree or disagree with that statement?
All the time.
All the time you have to take a side.
I think all the time you should. My response to that, like people that won't choose it, is the same as Kendrick's. Well, fuck you then. If you're not going to tell him that he wrong, then fuck you. And it's that simple. Like, because at that point, if you're not going to tell him that he wrong, you letting him believe that he's right and that I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. So fuck both of y'all. Like, that's how that's supposed to go. In that kind of conflict, and the thing is, it's like, if Drake and J. Cole are real friends like they portray, he should be able to say, hey, Drake, you know, maybe you shouldn't do this, maybe you shouldn't say that, whatever the situation is. It's like, and he shouldn't be mad at him for that. So it's like, if you can't pick a side, you might be a bitch.
I ain't gonna say always you should pick a side, but I think that sometimes you have to choose a side. Like, ain't no let me be neutral all the fucking time. Like, when we talking about a nigga being a pedophile, you no longer can play it safe. You have to choose a side now. That's something you can't just, that's them, that's their business. No, that's everybody's business. If you touch somebody, little girl, little boy, you'll touch other people's little girls and little boys. That ain't, you can, I ain't gonna say always though. Sometimes it ain't your business.
Yeah. So that's true. I think if you're going to be involved, you have to pick a side. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I was speaking to. Like, the people that are involved. It's definitely shit that's not your business at all. Yeah. But like, if you're going to be involved, I don't think you can be involved and on the fence. I think like, at whatever point you think somebody is right and you think somebody is wrong, even if you think both of y'all have valid points, you should be able to say that and still side with who's the most valid.
Well, and J. Cole,
right? Like,
for J. Cole, I always was firm on, once you put yourself into the shit, you can't just choose to pick and choose to back out, come in, step in, say, if I would have did some shit, I would have killed you. No, shut the fuck up or choose a side. That's how he should have did that. And
I think he should have shut the fuck up. I said this the night that the disc came out, the J. Cole's disc came out. Mm-hmm. I was like, he shouldn't have said anything. And I think he didn't go as hard as he could have because he still wanted to be friends with Kendrick. Yeah. He wanted to have a little friendly jab with him. And it's like, Kendrick wasn't on that. Mm-hmm. So you can't do that. But the reason J. Cole wanted to leave it friendly was because Kendrick didn't really say anything about him for real. All that shit was about Drake and like that. And J. Cole just happened to be the nigga he was clicking up with. That's all that was. So J. Cole probably should have said, hey Drake, you gonna let him talk about us like that?
I mean, a nigga that can't read, those probably can't pick up social cues either.
Yeah, he could read.
That nigga can't read.
He just said he don't.
If you don't, I don't trust that you can.
Hey, you know, look, I ain't never seen him read, but I think he could read, you know. But I do like how Kendrick, you know, basically told that nigga, no, ain't no, we still brothers after this shit. Yeah. They said, bitch niggas love bitch niggas. Yeah. And I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit.
I think more of us need to be like Kendrick when we stand up for something that we believe in.
Yeah.
It's either this way or no fucking way. And if you're not on board with me, then you the enemy too.
Yeah.
Especially when you start talking about something serious.
Yeah. And the thing is, I think with Kendrick Lamar, I don't think that he would have attacked J. Cole at all if J. Cole wasn't involved in the shit that was starting the beef to begin with. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, you're on this song, y'all talk. Yeah, first person shooter, and you going on a tour, you doing all of that. Like, there's a lot of people who work with Drake, who, like, Kendrick Lamar just had a bunch of people on his stage at that pop out who have songs with Drake. Mm-hmm. But it's like when it came time for us to be into it, You can't be involved in that and on his side and then still be on my side. It don't work that way. So I think that's why Kendrick had to throw J. Cole in there. And I think he was really giving him a chance to get out of it. Don't like that. Because he ain't say, hey, J. Cole, that For Your Eyes Only shit was ass. Even though he could have. He ain't say that. He'd say all Drake shit was a light pack. He ain't say J. Cole been falling off since Born Sinner.
Yeah.
Even though he could have. Like, he didn't say all of that. I think he was giving J. Cole a chance. J. Cole decided to step out and say he ain't like To Pimp a Butterfly. I didn't either, y'all. I didn't either.
Did you fuck with J. Cole this?
I was happy that he said the things he said about Kendrick's music, so niggas didn't think it was just me who thought that. But I didn't think he went hard enough. I was worried for him as a fan.
Okay.
I was like, oh shit, like you didn't do enough. And you can't tell a nigga who sold 600-some thousand albums in a week before that he doing anything for clout. You can't say shit like that. I'm like, he didn't come hard enough. Like, even the little short jokes that he had, they was cool, but it was like, damn, I know them lines. Those are Jay-Z lines. You know, it wasn't enough. Like, it just, I would say it was okay. It was a good warning jab. If you're sending a warning jab and you're not gonna back out tomorrow, then yeah. But the fact that shit came out Friday and then Saturday night he was on stage apologizing, fuck.
So I'm the only one that probably thinks it was trash. That shit was so ass to me. The angle that he took doing what Jay-Z already did, I just thought all of that was trash. You're not about to tell someone that is so successful behind his music that his music was actually not that good. I just think that was something you could have kept to yours. You just think that. You keep that with yourself, but don't put it on wax as a warning shot to a nigga. I just think that was ass.
See, I do think a lot of other niggas think that.
And that's cool. Y'all can have a little clubhouse chat.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't never say shit like this publicly. Yeah, you know. I ain't never told nobody I ain't like To Pimp a Butterfly before this publicly, you know. But like, yeah, I get it. I don't, and that's what I was saying. I just didn't think it was enough. I felt like that night. Like he didn't do enough to do anything. So he should have not done anything and let Drake handle that. Yeah. Like that's it. That's like somebody come in here right now and say, hey, fuck y'all podcast, this and that. I hate motherfuckers that got hair on their head, all kind of shit. They're not talking about me no more. My shit low. Tomorrow, you gonna say something to them? I handle it if you need me to, but like you not gonna say something first? Yeah. Like, and that was the problem. Like J. Cole jumped out first. Yeah. Like hell no. Somebody get on there and say all that shit about Drake. And
click that light on. Daylight will change.
Yeah. It's like J. Cole shouldn't have been the one responding at all. Right. But I get why he got to get treated like this now.
I am so grateful that K-Dot did all that he did for this year because we finally are having these conversations that I feel like we need to in mainstream media. Violence towards women and children, sexual assault, pedophilia, hip hop, just talking about just some damaging things. Yeah. I'm grateful to be alive for this. And then also being able to talk about white people and how they are also damaging to our communities that we've created to separate ourselves from white supremacy. In particular,
I love the way that you said separate ourselves from white supremacy because that is so much different from any of the exclusion that we have faced. And I hate that shit gets thrown out there like, oh, if they do it to us, why would you do it to them? Like, that's not the same thing. This is a method of protection. And I love the way that you said that. The separating ourselves from white supremacy is a method of protection. You can't tell me that I then have to let the threat in. Yeah. Or I'm like them. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah.
Heavily agreed on that. Retweet. So Andrew Shultz, if you don't know him, congratulations.
Yeah.
But shit. He is a white male comedian that reacted to K-Dot basically saying what he said in Whacked Out Merle's.
Don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman. That's law. Yeah.
So he reacted to it because he took it personally. Just a quick little backstory on Andrew Schultz. He had he had an episode on his pod or show with two not black guys, but because they're not from America. Right. I don't know what you would call them there, but I'll just say black to get past this shit. Two black Europeans. Two black Europeans that have
two
two bruvs. They got a pod called Shits and Gigs, and they had a little interview with Andrew Schultz, and they allowed him to make jokes about black women in their presence.
Yeah.
So yeah, Andrew Schultz reacted to it, so we're going to react to his reaction. So I got some clips from him reacting to it that I'm gonna play. That had social media going up.
Let's see the exact line, okay? Don't let no white comedian talk about no black woman. That's law. Now, technically speaking, if we're going off of grammatic English, okay, he's saying, I can talk about black women, and that's law.
Don't let no white comedian talk about no black women.
So he's basically saying all white comedians
are only allowed to
talk about black women.
Exclusively.
That's what I'm talking about, Kendrick.
We're back.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's a law.
Finally, he understands
It's
it.
a law.
Now I understand why he's doing a comedy with the South Park creators.
That makes sense.
Because he appreciades white comedians that make fun of black people.
There you go.
And they've done that brilliantly for decades.
Yeah, that's true.
And he would never want to, break one of his own laws.
No, that's true.
I mean, didn't they have a character called Token on the South Park show?
Yeah, they do.
Which I'm sure Kendrick is a big fan of.
That's true.
He must be a big fan
true.
if he's going to do a comedy with them. I mean, we can look that up. Apparently, he has a comedy coming out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fact.
But Al, you're getting groomed right now. We need to ungroom you.
Yeah, you are getting
We need to
groomed.
ungroom you right now.
Let's see.
Okay?
Let's see.
I mean that, listen, because he sent people, he said slide on, what he said, slide on, where's the line? Okay, the N-words that coon, the N-words that being groomed, slide on both of them. Whoa, that seems like a call to violence.
It does.
Why would he call to, if he's about protecting black people, why would the call to violence be towards the black dudes, not the white guy making the joke?
Well, you gotta understand.
What?
Well, no. You gotta understand.
Because I snitch. I cooperate. I tell.
Litigation.
Okay? You go squabble up in a jail cell.
Here's what you gotta understand about Kendrick. It's very important to him to protect black women. That's why he's never done a song with an abuser confirmed. He's never done a song with anybody that's suspected of abuse. He's never threatened to remove his music from Spotify because they removed R. Kelly's music, who for sure fucked and held captive underage black women.
Hold on.
This is all very important to Kendrick.
Wait a minute, just let me understand what's going on here, because I think that you're using sarcasm as a comedic device.
It is a comedic device.
But you're so fucking smart right now that I don't know if you're serious or making jokes. Are you saying that Kendrick Lamar put it on wax that he is protecting black women from white comedians' jokes, but not the kidnapping, molestation, and of R. Kelly? And in actually reality, he would take his own music off Spotify to protect R. Kelly?
Yeah.
Someone who's kidnapped,
a sexual
molested,
predator? Yeah.
And black women?
Oof, children.
Are you saying that he's done songs with other men who have potentially...
That's enough. I don't really want to share too much of that, but me and Khyle, we already watched enough context of that before starting this episode.
I was in a good mood 4 minutes ago. We was laughing and cracking a joke at it, and I swear to God, I'm ready to smack somebody right now. Cause that shit just really just pissed me off. Like, damn. I'll let you go ahead.
So basically, he addressed alleged hypocrisy, because I don't agree with the hypocrisy to the full extent. I think some validity is there, but he basically was addressing some hypocrisy between K-Dot wanting to protect black women and then his actions that doesn't correlate to that, certain actions. And then also, I think, I'm just start with saying a hit dog gonna holler, because he didn't call out what white comedians, because it's more than just Andrew Schultz.
When it came out, me and you and Jonesy was sitting there trying to figure out which white comedian he meant.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and then he wasn't even talking about the white comedians. He was talking about black people allowing it to happen. Exactly. He was talking about the shit in gigs niggas more than Andrew Schultz, because I don't really give a fuck to address you. You're not the problem for me. It's our community having space for you to do that shit.
Right.
That is the problem here. Before we even address you being a problem.
Like, that's the thing. Like, and it was so clear to me right in the beginning when he first started talking about the grammar, that he didn't understand that that he wasn't fucking talking to him. And that's what bothers me with white people so much, that they feel so entitled to every single thing that we do and that we say, that they don't realize that sometimes we're just not fucking talking to you. And it's that simple, right? And the thing that bothers me the most about that clip is him and the Indian guy. Don't cancel me, I don't know him. But them sitting there basically saying that he's not good enough to defend black women, like because of these things that he has done, right? Now, when you take that and you apply that to black people in general, there's not going to be a single one of us that is going to be good enough to defend our people against them if we let them put that unit of measurement in front of it. Has this person done anything wrong to black people before? I've been in a fight. You ever fought somebody? You ever talked bad about somebody before, right? Like you said bad stuff about black people sometimes, right? Like none of us have treated black people 100% perfectly for us to be able to defend black people against white people. Like we don't have to do that. And that's the thing that they don't understand. It's like our community is our community, and things that happen within our community, which also happen to be the same things that happen within other races in their communities, right? That's for us to deal with. Our problem comes with the white interference, with the white supremacy. That's always the problem. We can't handle each other. We can't deal with each other because there's always a white person who's going to come and decide that they're the authority. You are not the fucking authority to decide who can defend black women. We all can. Every single one of us can defend black women against you. That's the point. I don't give a fuck what anybody else did. If they tell you not to do it, you're not supposed to do it. And that's the end of it, right? Like, I got siblings, you got siblings. I say stuff about my siblings that you can't say, and you say stuff about your siblings that I can't say. That don't make it true or untrue when either one of us says it. It's just that it's not my fucking place, right? And that's what they don't understand, that it's not their place to say any of that, to tell us who can defend ourselves. Like, what kind of shit is that? I have to be perfect to defend myself? So because I have driven a car with a suspended license before, right? That's a crime. I can't say, hey, white people shouldn't kill us. Oh shit, well, you a criminal. Well, get the fuck on. I thought it had nothing to do with what we're talking about. And it's like, I don't need to be good enough to defend myself. I don't need to be good enough to defend her or any other woman. That's not how that works. And when you use that, that makes it so that we can never speak about anything bad that happened to us because none of us are perfect. You hold us to this fucking impossible standard to reach to be able to defend ourselves from you. And then think that you should be the authority to hold us to that standard. I wish he was here.
No, I don't.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel about it. And because my thing is, so nobody is perfect. And that standard only gets put on us all the time. Like that shit is frustrating as hell. And now, do I think that Kendrick Lamar should make songs with people who do certain things? Yes or no, right? I say yes or no because to me it doesn't fucking matter, right? Because if people are held accountable in the ways that they should be, right? If R. Kelly had been in jail for however fucking long that he should have been in jail for a long time ago, his music probably would have never been on Spotify. To have that conversation, even though Kendrick Lamar is not the one who said he would take that down. And that's the thing, right? So he mixed in a bunch of misinformation with the shit. Because it wasn't Kendrick Lamar that said that.
That's a Twitter talking point.
Right.
That's incorrect.
Right. Top Dog said that. And when Top Dog said that he would take down the whole label's music, he wasn't saying R. Kelly is correct. He wasn't saying y'all shouldn't do this to R. Kelly. He was saying Spotify is not your fucking place. Because I can go on there right now and stream Morgan Wallen.
Or Elvis Presley or...
Right. And I only brought Morgan Wallen up because he been saying nigger and shit, right? Elvis Presley, pedophile. Elvis Presley, right, I can go stream him. That's the equivalent of R. Kelly. You got Elvis and all of that shit, right? And it's like, he was saying, Spotify shouldn't hold us to a standard that everybody else isn't held to. That's all Top Dog was saying. He didn't say fucking free R. Kelly. Kendrick Lamar never said shit about it. So you put that on him to say, oh, you can't tell black people how to interact with each other because me as the white person, I feel that you're not good enough to say that. And that's fucking insane. And everybody that agrees with that thinks that holds any kind of validity, I think you're a fucking idiot. That all of those people who sat there on the couch with him when he was saying that shit, I think y'all are fucking idiots. And the black person who sat there and didn't say anything for that whole 3-minute video that we just watched, I think you a fucking idiot, and I think you a bitch. Because I know you would not sit there when you was just at home for Thanksgiving, whatever black women that you had at your house, or you was at their house or whatever, you wouldn't sit there and have no conversation with them like that, because you know that shit is wrong.
Yep.
You know that shit is wrong, but when you sit there in front of that white man, you let him say it. And that's what Kendrick Lamar was talking about. Don't let the white comedian do this. That's what he was saying. He wasn't speaking to the white comedian. He was speaking to us. And that's why that shit pisses me off, because once again, we can't have shit. Ain't nothing for us. Mm-hmm. Remember we used to go, we ain't gonna say her name because I think she was nice, but remember we used to go to BSU events and there would be that white girl who was also a RA. She would always be at all those events and we have to tell her like, hey, we know that you're here to help, but sometimes like these black women who created a space for themselves, you gotta let them run the space for themselves.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Right? And it's like, and I know she meant well, and that's why I didn't want to say her name, but she just didn't understand it. But it's like, that's it. When we separate ourselves from the white supremacy, we should not have to allow the white supremacy in order to not be viewed as the same as the white supremacists. Like, how does that work? How does that work? Like, you saying that, oh, we just as bad as them. First of all, I ain't never gonna be just as bad as no white person because my ancestors ain't never enslaved no fucking body and left them there for hundreds of years. It's never going to be the same. We never on the equal playing field. And they all understand shit like that when they ask a white person about a Nepo baby. Ask them about a fucking Nepo baby and they'll go into a whole fucking 45-minute dialogue about how that's so wrong and all that shit. And then ask them what school they went to and how their legacy status played into that. And they'll shut the fuck up. But then you can't understand how y'all legacy status that started at these universities and shit, when my legacy status goes back to the fucking plantation. You can't understand that we not on the same playing field. And then that you shouldn't have shit to say to me about how I respond to being in that situation. Like they don't fucking get it. And that pisses me off so much because of the white people who believe that they have the ability to do that and the black people who allow them to. And the black people who will sit and say, oh, we don't want them to do this to us. We shouldn't do it to them, blah, blah, blah. We're all the same. All of that sit in the middle of the fence ass shit that y'all be on. You got to pick a fucking side. So even that when he's talking about, Andrew Shultz is talking about why would he direct the violence towards the black people? He's directing the violence towards the black people who put themselves on your fucking side. That's what he's saying. He's not talking about me. He's not talking about T. He's talking about the people who sit there with you and laugh at that shit. They already not on our side. So why the fuck would I care about them? Yeah. I say it all the time. I've been saying it. I love black people that love other black people. Yeah. And that's what being pro-black means to me. Because I don't care about none of you niggas that'll sit there on the couch with him and laugh. Fuck dude. Fuck Charlamagne. Fuck y'all. That's how I feel about it. And it seems to be how Kendrick feel about it, and I think that's the way that we all need to feel. Yeah. That shit is insane. To sit there and let him do that. Like, damn.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. And when you look at it, right, if you look at it, that idea of we got to be perfect to defend ourselves. That's why you get on Twitter and everything else, and you see these people talking about, well, Martin Luther King cheated on his wife. How you pro-black and a cheater? All that silly ass shit that y'all be talking about. Because you think that I have to be a perfect man to fight for something. Knowing that I'm never going to be a perfect man. And that's the ideals that they want y'all to have so that we never fight for shit. You fucking idiots. That's the whole point. Stop the niggas from fighting. Or if we tell y'all that y'all not good enough to fight and y'all tell each other that y'all not good enough to fight and then we twist y'all words like woke and use it just to call y'all niggas and shit like that. Like that y'all won't use it. Y'all won't think it's cool to be woke no more. And you niggas fail for the shit and keep falling for it.
Bro, what upsets me more is I'm on the same stance with Kendrick Lamar. I'm focused on the black people and the ones that are hindering us from separating ourselves from white supremacy. We created the fucking woke term.
Right.
That is our terminology.
Right.
And then it became such a thing leading up to this election where white people are now using the word woke to be racist. And you got black people now fucking being confused on what woke means because they are listening to a lot of white people use the word now. How the fuck you let them take your word and confuse you?
So white white people do that with everything. They take everything and say that it means something else, right? I think the reason the black people don't fully understand it right now is because of how they felt about it when it was coming into terms. You had a bunch of black people who didn't care enough, right? Who are y'all on that woke shit? It started with the y'all fake woke, right? Because everybody who had anything to say that was kind of progressive or seemed halfway intellectual, y'all on that fake woke shit. Now I know the people who I know personally who would say shit like that. They also were the people who in school couldn't count. That's just the fucking truth of the matter, right? Y'all were the ones in school who thought that getting a good grade was lame. Yeah. So you think they're fighting for anything? Yeah, y'all on that woke shit, fake woke shit. I don't want to hear all that, blah blah blah. Right? You had a bunch of ignorant motherfuckers who didn't value what the fuck was going on. So now they the same ones confused. Yeah. And that's what happens. And the thing is, it's not on us to decide whether or not they should be included in our fight. It is on us. That's what I meant to say. It's on us. It's not on the white person. It's not on Andrew Schultz to say, oh, y'all didn't give a fuck about it. Y'all did this or y'all did that, to say that they not good enough to come join the fight. Like, that's just not what the situation is. And that's what pisses me off so much.
Yeah, I'm not gonna play the part where he talks about he'll make sweet love to Kendrick Lamar. You all can go find that yourself, but let's talk about that part.
You see how mad I was before we talked about him saying Kendrick Lamar couldn't stop me from making love to him? Yeah. You know how fucking insane that is? And that they're sitting there laughing at that shit? Laughing.
That just goes back to being grateful that we can finally talk about this, for mainstream media to talk about this shit. Yeah. Rape is never funny. Sexual assault is never funny. It's never funny.
And you know how they defending it. Like he told Ice Cube's son to look up No Vaseline, and he's talking about, oh shit, he thought it was funny here when in Friday After Next when Cat Williams with Terry Crews was trying to rape him and shit. But it's like, did y'all see the end result? Did y'all see him twist his nuts with the fucking pliers? Then, like, if you watched that and thought, yeah, shit, maybe I should rape somebody in the bathroom, then you're a dumbass, right? Like, it was clearly
to rape somebody in the bathroom.
Right. It clearly was anti-rape. That was the whole point. So yeah, they had humor in the situation, but there was nothing in that made you think that they were supporting rape or anybody being raped. There was absolutely nothing in that. Like, or No Vaseline, he's talking about the white person who was fucking them over and said that he fucking y'all with no Vaseline because he was stealing all their fucking money. I'm not gonna say what kind of man he was. I'm not gonna say it. But y'all know. Just Google him.
And the no Vaseline part, for the dumb fucks that don't know how to critically think, is just how easy it was for him to fuck them over. Right. You are just allowing this man to just easily just come fuck you, is what Ice Cube is saying.
Right. It was a metaphor. So any of the things that Andrew Schultz has tried to point out and say, oh, y'all don't care about rape jokes then, blah, blah, blah. No, that's some real white people shit. White people will sit there and joke about shit like that and think it's funny. Yeah. White people joke about a lot of shit and think it's funny that I never did. White humor has always been way fucking different. Very weird to me. Yeah. You know, and that's all that was. And my thing is, some of that I don't believe is all humor. I think a lot of that is shit. That's what he believes and that's how he thinks of him. And it's just another attempt of, I'm going to sit here and humiliate you and emasculate you in this way, the same way that they have done forever. Like, when they was whipping slaves, they didn't have to do that in front of the whole plantation. Except for, oh shit, I'm going to let you niggas know what's coming next.
I got a hot take. I ain't going to say it today, but maybe later, another time, about homosexuality in the white community. I just think it's just viewed totally different than ours. And that's why the idea of emasculating the man is only a black man thing. I don't really see outside of the brown community, I don't really see other cultures talk about the emasculation of their males. I don't
think it happens to them. And I think that's the difference.
I think it does. It just doesn't fucking matter. Like, when I say brown, that's literally the only community that I see have an issue with homosexuality. The majority.
So when I was saying it, so there are a bunch of men who say we being emasculated and shit like that because they might see a man in a dress, right? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the real ways in which it has happened throughout history and shit, right? Yeah. So when I say we're the only ones it happens to, I mean in that way, right? So it's homosexual men in every race, right? But I think we are the only ones who there is always a constant attempt to break the black man in every single way possible, right?
Why?
You said why?
Yeah.
Why are they doing that to us?
No, why do we respond in such a similar way every single time we see it happen? Meaning, I feel like shame behind homosexuality is very prevalent in our community to why this is such a talking point in our community. Like, I don't think white people really care about homosexuality the same way that we do. And that's why whenever someone is an example of emasculation in like a black male, it's a huge thing because a lot of us aren't for that gay shit.
See, but that's because I think over time we have conflated the issues. And I think they are two different things. I do think that white people obviously are super homophobic. Like, yeah, like that. I think they care just as much, if not more than us, for sure.
I don't know.
And yeah, that might be one of those off-camera conversations for sure.
And when I think about the DL community, I think about white people more than us. Like, I feel like DL is not a thing to them. Like, my wife knows that I be fucking men sometimes, and she just don't say nothing because she wants this house over her.
Yeah, right. And I think
that's what goes on. But us, once I find out my nigga DL, I'm finna blast him on Facebook because we don't do that gay shit. Our community don't do that gay shit.
I think the responses are different. I think the responses to things like that are different for sure, right? Like, but I don't think when we talk about like the emasculation of the black man, I genuinely don't believe that has anything to do with homosexuality.
Okay.
I think there are people who use that word when they're describing homosexuality, and I think those are people who are just ignorant and don't fully understand all of the things that they're talking about, right? And that's why they think, oh, we watched this movie with a man in a dress. Oh, they're trying to emasculate the black men. They want all of us to go put on dresses, right? Like, no, usually that's an ignorant person that's thinking that way. I think they're just using words incorrectly, right? Whereas we are the only ones who there was a clear effort and execution of them putting the black man in a position that he wasn't able to take care of his family, right? Like, we're the only ones that happened to. The only ones that continues to happen to. And the difference, right? Like, and this, it might sound silly to somebody, but if you look at who was the highest selling rapper ever? Eminem. Eminem sold more than everybody, right? You have never heard anybody say that he was in the Illuminati. You've never heard that, right? Whereas every time any of the black people who get anywhere close to that, right? Here come the stories. Now, I'm not saying all these niggas are innocent. I'm not saying that. But there's a reason why we be so quick to believe that y'all the Illuminati, that's what it is, because niggas can't do this, right? And niggas can't succeed in that way. It gotta be something else, right? And I mean that where it's like, even when we do achieve, you gotta knock us down. Even though most of us should understand that shit. Yeah, because Kanye a billionaire now, that don't mean I'm gonna be a billionaire. We should all understand that, so it's not even necessary. But it's like, they don't even want us to have the hope. That we talk about this country's response to Obama as a president, right? Who do you, like, so yeah, some of that was just with the hate, right? But with his whole thing, the book, Audacity of Hope, and the Yes We Can, and all of that shit, who do you think they didn't want to believe that we can? It was us. So, like, all of these efforts to do things that specifically and only affect us, I think those are the things where we talk about the emasculation of the black man come from, because, okay, now I am literally not in a position to do the things that a man is supposed to do. I don't mean they told that nigga to put on the dress. That's a whole different conversation with a bunch of niggas that don't understand exactly what's going on. But when you talk about, like, the different barriers that they won't allow us to cross, and that they will put other minorities in these positions to make sure that we don't cross them. That's why the other races don't talk about these things like that. Then, yeah, it is only us. I do think the idea of homosexuality, I think there is, every single race that exists has homophobia. Every race. I think we talk about it more seemingly because we the only ones who don't exile our people. Like, and I mean, in a wide spread thing. Of course, we have people who definitely black people who parents said, "Oh, you got to go," right? Whereas it's like, yeah, you can't live in my house, this and that. But like, and it's a bunch of black people who have dealt with a bunch of horrible shit from other black people. I do not want to dismiss that at all. But the stories that you hear about how the white people have been treated, how the Hispanics have been treated by their family and shit like that once they found out certain things, none of those sound like anything that we haven't dealt with, right? So that what I didn't say that correctly. I'm saying none of those sound like something that I'm saying it's all the same shit. They do things differently, and we just don't have that much interaction with them to fully understand exactly how they treat each other. But I know there was a case I was working on at the end of last year. This little boy who had recently came out as gay in the white suburb. I think we had talked about it. Yeah, he blew a blowhorn in the girl's ear, ended up getting charged with assault. And the person I was working with is like convinced that this is because of the boy who had just came out as gay. This is an all-white neighborhood, all-white school. Like, we know that the homophobia is there. I think our exposure to how much they talk about it is not necessarily there, right? But like, I don't think that the white football players in high schools are treating anybody better than the black football players are treating the gay people in their schools, right? Like, and I picked them because just the stereotype of, that's the jock, they're supposed to be the tough guys and shit, right? Like, if that's how they feel about it, about the situation, I don't think there's any difference for real.
One thing I would confidently say is I think homophobia looks differently per demographic, per race, ethnicity, whichever one you want to choose. I think it looks differently, and I think we are very boisterous with our homophobia. We're very loud with it. We're not discreet at all when we want to display homophobia.
Yeah, and they're not either. That's why a lot of these words that we got from them.
As a kid, sure, but as you become older, I don't see too many white people showing the homophobia on a display towards other whites, like a white on white homophobic act. It's not as loud. You go to Boys Town, you'll just see some religious people on the streets with signs. And they'll yell at you from across the street. But they're not finna go beat your ass in Boys Town, like to another white person to a white person. And if that white person is going towards a black person, they'll figure out a reason for me to put my hands on you and do something. I just think white on white homophobic acts definitely look different than a black on black one. That's my opinion. I can be proven wrong. You put me in more spaces, but I think I've been around enough to have this opinion. I don't think I'm fully right. I can be contested. That's just what I've experienced.
So when you say you've experienced that, like, in what spaces would you say you have been in that would have given you
enough to experience it? Being at a PWI, I've been around it enough to experience how it's embraced on a different level, and it also depends on when you go to a space that wants to embrace that.
Right, that's why I don't think Boys Town is a good
I'm talking
a good
about
metric to use.
People that go to Boys Town wanting to disrupt what is accepted there. I see what they do and how they react to a person that's black, and when they're reacting to a person that's white with their signs and shit. It's more aggressive when they trying to talk to someone that's black. Even just being out in just Chicago. I think Chicago is one of the more accepting cities. It's still homophobic. It's going to be there, but I think Chicago is a more accepting city towards homosexuality. And so, and I be around more white people outside because I'm in more affluent areas in Chicago when I'm out to go indulge in entertainment. And I just don't. I will see black people be loud and boisterous with their homophobia than I will see a white person. It would be more so like a whisperer or some shit. Like, I'll have to pick up on you doing that when I see a white person that I'm assuming is being homophobic right now. As far as like, even just, I'll have friends with me that I not actual friends, but somebody that is in my whole little proximity. We going out together and they're loud. Like, they don't give a fuck.
I think the difference there might be like sometimes. I mean, it's not a defense of black people, and it's not a defense of anybody homophobic at all. But I think the difference between a black homophobic person ending up somewhere where they didn't know this might be a gay bar or whatever the situation is a lot more likely than the white homophobic person. Like I think white people who have mastered segregation don't go places where they don't want to be. They don't go places with the gay people when they know they don't like gay people, right? So I think that is simply a product of black people, especially in Chicago, not necessarily having places to go to, right? So like a lot of times we don't have a bunch of places out south to go to. So we end up going up north when we want to go out sometimes. Sometimes you end up, we thought we was in Wrigleyville, we end up in Boys Town. Now it's a nigga trying to talk to me I didn't even know. This is a real story. I didn't know the nigga was trying to talk to me until I got back to the table. And the girl I was with told me, oh yeah, he was on that. I didn't get it. I thought he was talking to me because we was the only two black people there, right? Like, I think there are a lot of factors that go into it, but I think anytime that we say that black people are worse at anything than other races, it's just gonna give me a whole lot of
I
resistance.
didn't say worse, Khyle. I said that we're more boisterous with it.
Yeah.
Our display of homophobia looks different.
And so I said worse, but I would take that as worse, right? Like
displaying homophobia is bad. You shouldn't do it.
Right.
Period. It just looks differently. To me.
I think we don't see that purposely.
Okay.
And I think that's it. So for me, I just always be real wary of anything that is gonna make black people look like the bad people. And I think there are so many things that we do that inadvertently push that message. Like any of those times, right? So let's say every race has people that steal, right?
Yeah.
And the minute that you say, oh shit, black people be stealing, somebody can take that as, oh yeah, shit, black people the only ones, right? Even though we know that that's not true. We know that whatever white person, Hispanic person would believe that black people are the only ones have been stolen from by another white person, right? But those statements, and people who make those statements, they like to say, oh, well, I ain't talking about everybody else, I'm talking about black people right now. Okay, cool. Well, you can like talk to black people then, right? But when you make these public statements in that way that you say black people are doing anything negative at a rate that is more or worse than or whatever it is that you put us on the level that everybody is not as bad as us, I'd be real weary about that because it's just one of those things we can usually tell with a little investigation is just not true. And that's it. So I do think it is different, for sure. But I think like,
I think you got in your pro-black bag real quick, and I was not using the word worse, and I'm like, I ain't say none of that.
Yeah, see, but when you say more boisterous,
yeah,
it's a bunch of people who would take the person that's homophobic at the table next to them that won't say anything, versus, oh, okay, this person who is making it known that I don't want these gay people to come sit next to me, they feel that side is worse, right? Like,
even with being more boisterous, I think that is the problem with why I don't like when black people are homophobic. I don't like it because I know that you're doing it for the white acceptance.
Do you think that?
Yes, I think that homophobia, being homophobic stems from obviously religion for a lot of our community, but that came from white people. That shit came from white people. That shit ain't got nothing to do with God or shit. They gave you the book for you to fucking read that shit. And in there, that's where you started to say, okay, well, that's not good.
Right.
And so now that I'm out and about, white people, to us, we think white people can be gay. They can do that shit. But us, we can't do that shit. And then, so if I see a nigga being gay, I'm going to make sure that I far separate myself from this shit. And that's what I mean by you're more boisterous. Like, you're going to go out your way to make sure that you are not compared with this nigga, that you ain't got no relations to this nigga being gay right now. Hey, get your ass away from me real quick, bro. Like, you're gonna be loud as fuck. Instead of just having a civil conversation with bro, like, hey, no, I'm not gay. You're gonna be loud as hell to let everybody in the fucking room know that you're not gay. And I just don't see that as often when I see a white person expressing homophobia. And I feel like it's because a black person, it stems from being accepted by white people. Because only white people, they created this homophobic concept.
I know a bunch of niggas who don't have no interactions with white people and
Oh,
don't want none, who are very homophobic.
With
like,
who are you trying to prove? What are you trying to prove when you are proving that you're not a homosexual? What are you trying to prove when you have to do it in an aggressive way?
I don't know if it's all about trying to prove anything. I think the ideologies go a lot deeper than we probably really have time to discuss. But I think a lot of people are actually angry about certain things. And should they be? Absolutely not. Right? It's not rational. I do think there are people who are homophobic enough that when they get around a gay person, it makes them mad. I can't make sense of it, of why they're mad. I can't. But they are mad, right? So, and that is how a lot of black people express their anger, period. It's not quietly. It's not civilly. Civilly, it's not the word. It's not civil. You know what I'm saying? It's not any of that. So I do think there are just a lot of factors that impact this more than
that's understandable.
The race.
Said, that's why you niggas look more loud with it. That's just how we are. That's cool.
I just don't know. What ways would you say that white people display homophobia that are quiet?
Shultz is the loud version of what a white person can do. And then being the gay husband that's fucking on niggas behind your wife's back, and the wife knows. That's the quiet you can do, is knowing that your husband is gay and choosing the family over breaking up the family. That's her being quiet about her homophobia.
There's a bunch of people that would probably say that you can't be homophobic and stay with the nigga after that, right? Like, how can you? You
can.
I guess maybe
put it out on your son now. You see your son doing some shit that you think is some sissy shit. You put all your anger on your son instead of your husband. That's a way to show that you still homophobic.
Yeah.
We can move past this. Obviously, this takes more than just us talking about some shit. We got to be in the midst of seeing people be homophobic.
I think we should get some white people and talk to them about this. I think this should be an episode.
Yeah, we can do that.
Because just some of the horror stories that I've heard from them, it'd be shit that... I will say this. White people treat white people worse than black people treat other black people.
No.
You don't think that?
No. We are the only race, specifically black men crime on black men crime. We are the only race that we are the number one reason for our deaths. Look it up. Statistically, black men kill black men. That's the number one reason why black men die.
Somebody got to show me that.
I'll show you that off camera. I'll show you that off camera.
The numbers just aren't, the murder numbers aren't high enough for that to even be true.
Okay.
If we have, it's almost 3 million people that live in Chicago right now. If you have 700, 800 murders in a year, you have way more people that died from diseases and car accidents and shit like that, just mathematically. We can't be the number one reason. Okay. And even if let's say that's true, white people kill white people. And that is one of the extremes, because some of the ways that black people treat black people better than white people treat white people is just simple shit hey, I come over here, you want some water? Normal shit, the ways that we will care about each other and strangers and shit like that. White people have a very individualistic mindset, and we just don't do shit like that. I think the way that we treat each other outside of the extremes, outside of the negatives and shit like that, I don't think it's different. I think it's much different. And the white RA who we were talking about earlier, she told me she felt more comfortable going to the black people shit because we ain't judge her.
Yeah, they always
because we ain't treat her differently. And she had a certain kind of issue. And that she said she couldn't go around them because she would get judged and talked about and shit like that. But with us, most of the people who would be in that meeting probably didn't know about that issue. Probably had no idea that existed because that's just not what we was on. So I've seen it go both ways, and I've seen people be treated horribly on both sides, and I don't think anything is acceptable or like that we don't have shit we need to work on. I don't think that. I just think
you just can't get past me saying more boisterous.
Yeah, I think that's who you hear. I think that's who you hear. I think it's that. I think it's a bunch of white people who would adamantly disagree with both of us, you know. But I think, yeah, I think a lot of times the proximity is just what we base our experience on, and when things are based on our experience, sometimes we could be a little off.
Okay.
A little like, and especially when it's some things that.
You know, we're generalizing the whole race right now and how they display homophobia.
Yeah.
So, like, we're both wrong, in my opinion. I think we're both wrong. It depends on where we are. Like, niggas in Utah could display, white people in Utah, black people in Utah could display homophobia totally different than our geological setting.
Yeah, I was actually going to get into that. Like, the difference is, you know, the location and all of that is real big. Like, because we know how, like, Illinois is. Like, Chicago vote blue. Soon as you outside Chicago, the whole state is red. Like, we talking about Boys Town and shit like that. Like, the fact that Boys Town can exist here, like, yeah, that's a great thing. But, like, outside of that, how those people, these white people who are from all of these red areas, how they getting treated when they go home? Mm-hmm. Like, that's why they had to come here and make that shit. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I feel you. I get what you're saying about how black people react and behave with certain shit. Like, absolutely. It's the same thing as the little girls in class who want to ask the boys if they gay in front of everybody and shit like that, right? Like, and that's it. I just think we, you know, we do a lot of things that put us further down than we need to be. Yeah. On both sides.
Now, to close up and tie up this first episode of Talks with T, because we got a little off gears. This Andrew Schultz shit and him just talking about makes me love the K-Dot. Unacceptable.
Yeah. And I have one question. Mm-hmm. You think that was homophobic of him?
See, that's where you get the whole little cancel culture is too soft, because he's a comedian. And I just think comedians hide behind being comedians too much to where they don't get held accountable for the jokes that they make. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that he was talking about actually having sex with Kendrick Lamar. I think he was talking about just their physical. He's so much smaller than me. I can do whatever I want to him. Mm-hmm. I think that's what he meant by the joke. But now you're a comedian, so you're going to say that in this very fucking disrespectful way. Mm-hmm. What was your question?
Because you said that was him displaying his homophobia.
Yeah.
And I was trying to see how making a joke like that would be considered homophobic.
That wasn't homophobic to me. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying, like, a white male going on a platform where millions of people are subscribed to and saying he'll fuck a man that he knows mm-hmm. has never said is a homosexual, right, can be deemed homophobic to others. But I don't think
because he's saying it as a negative.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. Because I was also thinking that, like, because a lot of people would say that's pretty fucking gay.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess that was my first mind. Yeah. So the homophobia behind it, I was just a little cloudy. But
when I say Andrew Schultz being what it would look like for a white person to be loud with the homophobic, it's just how he'll go on a platform that large and say some shit like that.
Okay.
Like, that's how loud a white person would go, but it's not. I don't see that often happen with white people. Is what I meant by that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You got any last remarks before we get up out of here?
Fuck Andrew Schultz.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Charlamagne.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck Drake.
Mm-hmm.
Lil Wayne too.
Mm-hmm.
Not the third one. Don't beat my ass, Nicki fans. That's about it. That's about it. I'm happy to be. I'm happy we went fucking viral. We probably got 40,000 more views since we've been sitting here talking, huh?
Yeah,
I don't even know.
I'm gonna keep pushing that shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had fun. We'll see y'all in the next episode. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
A few moments later.
When you say disrespectful, it's like, yeah, black people, we be disrespectful as hell. It's like, we're going to disrespect you and we want you to know we disrespected you or else it was no point, right? The difference is with white people, they will just go and lie on you and have the gay people next to them removed from the restaurant, right? So it's like, so yeah, we didn't hear it. We didn't know that it was white people in there complaining about the gay people or whatever it is. But it's like, I can't say that one is more or less homophobic, especially when white people will use the systems that they know they have influence over to affect your life.
To be fair, I never said that.
Right, you
didn't.
didn't.
That they are more homophobic.
You didn't. I was just worried about it being heard that way.
Yeah.
Because so many people are already ready to put us down, and so many people already believe that. Like, and there's so many black people in the gay community who that's where they got all their homophobia from. So they think that it's black people. And it's like, no, that's not it. It's just, that's where you got yours, right? So with that, like, that's it. It's just like white people do things differently, 100% correct. But I think like, we'll talk about you and say, I'll deal with it. Because we talked about you, versus they will literally, like, that I have you removed from this restaurant. We won't let you in to begin with. That's a whole different type of thing. And that's the thing that it might not get talked about. It might not get seen right away. Or somebody might make their post about, oh, we just got kicked out of this restaurant and we don't know why. We think it's because we gay. And people are debating, well, shit, is it because you was gay? And not realizing, like, that's exactly what they said when they told security to kick them out, right? Like, because we didn't hear that. Versus when the argument is right in front of you and somebody calls somebody a name, yeah, you heard that, you felt that. That's what you took home with you. So it might feel more apparent. It might feel like it exists more. I just don't think that's how it happens. Because white people will do things differently, because so many white people are afraid of conflict. Did I tell you this man spit on my car last week?
No.
Look, so I was out in the far west suburb. I wasn't familiar with the area. You know how sometimes, like, if you're in the plaza, it might be people pull up next to the store, they're waiting on somebody to come out or something, let somebody out. So it was a line of cars right next to the store. I didn't realize that they were in line to leave the parking lot. So I went around like you normally would. And when I realized I needed to get back in, because it was cars coming from this side, I just got back in where I could. And I'm looking out the back window and I see a fucking glob on the back window that I didn't notice before. But I'm looking at it, I'm like, fuck, is there something on my window? What's going on? You know, so at that point, I realized that when I was getting back in, I saw this man behind me roll down his window. So I got out the car and I said, did you spit on my car? And he said, why'd you cut me off? I said, you stupid bitch, did you spit on my car? And he said, yeah, I'm sorry, but why'd you cut me off? With his window down, we talking to him. So of course I spit on him. Of course I did, right? And he's like, oh, why'd you do that? I didn't spit on you. And I feel like white people do their homophobia like that. Right? Where it's like, okay, I'm gonna spit on your back window. And you're gonna drive off and go home with it and not even know I did that shit, right? But then by the time I confront you about it, you're scared and you're saying sorry. While your son is in the car next to you. And then you're shocked that you got spit on. Because they do that, right? Because they are very afraid of confrontation. At the fact that he said sorry, I guess he thought I was gonna care about his sorry, his feelings. No, bitch, I'm finna spit on you. So now you got spit on, you got called a stupid bitch twice, and you said sorry all in front of your son. Because you decided to spit on my window because we needed to leave this parking lot, right? And white people do shit like that. Whereas a black person who I cut off might honk their fucking horn until we was out of the parking lot. You might see them in the back, fuck you, you stupid ass. They doing all this, right? Yeah, and that's the difference. But I can't say.
That's all I was saying. That's all I was saying. They gonna make sure that you know, fuck you, bitch, or you gay faggot. They gonna make sure you know.
Hey, put a sensor on that when I'm in this. You know what I'm saying? And I just didn't want that to be misconstrued with anybody else as you saying black people are more homophobic than white people. Because so many people just don't hear the message the correct way.
I got you.
And that was it. And it's like, no, they do their shit differently.
And it's probably needed. No social media. Needed, so.
You know, it's like, because they'll spit on your window and I'm going to spit on you. And that's the difference. And that man really thought he wasn't supposed to face no consequences. Like,
So did you see him pull out his phone, probably trying to call the cops or something?
I'm not. We left the parking lot together. He wouldn't say that else to me.
He ain't say fuck you or nothing like.
No.
He just got spit on.
He got spit on and rolled his window up. Well, I said, what happened? After I spit on him, he said, I didn't spit on you. I said, you stupid bitch, I should have smacked you. Mm-hmm. And I went and got back in the car. And I guess at that point, that was enough. That was enough.
That's crazy.
He had to wipe his forehead off. Crazy. It was like I was crazy for spitting on him.
That's crazy, Khyle.
That's not what I was supposed to do.
Oh no, man! I probably would have slapped him over the spit. I ain't gonna.
He spit on the car.
I wouldn't have done anything. I ain't gonna hold you. I would have just went up on my day.
Oh no! See, hell no.
We definitely different.
Yeah, I had to know. Did you just spit on my shit? And it wasn't. I was bogus. I wasn't even driving my car. I was driving my mama's car. You bogus as hell. You gonna spit on my mama's car?
You don't know what your mama car.
He don't know. He didn't know.
You know that.
I knew, yeah. But that was enough for me. You gonna spit on the car and I'm not gonna find out. Hell no, I needed to know. So I asked his ass. I didn't want to smack him because I don't fight people.
That would have been different. He called the cops.
He would have called the cop, or he would have tried to fight me, and I don't fight. Mm-hmm. I protect myself. I'm not gonna fight nobody. You get what I'm saying? We didn't want to go all the way there. I knew I was going after that. So fuck that. I'm finna spit on you, bitch. And that was it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he talking about, I ain't spit on you. Like I'm supposed to come in and do exactly what you did back. Well, guess what? Some spit got on the window too. And that's what I mean. Like they just think that they're the authority over everything. That you think, oh, I cut you off and you get to deliver me some kind of consequence. No, the fuck you don't. Yeah. That's the same thing I was saying on Andrew's show. It's like you don't get to decide whether or not I'm fit to judge you. Like, man, everybody know how I feel about white people.
Now that we still rolling this shit, the hypocrisy that he did bring up is something we'll talk about on a later date. Not when we talking about Andrew Shultz talking about the shit. But at a later date, we can talk about it. Because it need to be talked about still.
Which hypocrisy?
K-Dot. And his hypocrisy in certain actions.
Ooh.
We talked about one of them, but we ain't going to talk about it right now.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll talk about it in another episode.
See, and the difference is we could talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I can call you a nigga and you can call me one.
Yeah.
So we could talk about Kendrick being a hypocrite.
Yeah,
maybe.
And we can hold him accountable in a way that might hurt him more. Like, certain niggas don't care about going to jail. Some niggas want to be in jail than be in here. But if my whole family don't fuck with me, I can't go to no family reunions.
Yeah, that's tough.
That hurt. That hurt a lot differently.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we can hold black people accountable in a way that the world can't sometimes.
The world never can. Because they will never consider everything that it took to get in that position to begin with. And that'd be my whole problem with everything. Everybody look at the end of the story and think that that's what we're supposed to judge, not looking at the beginning, the middle, and the end, and putting all that shit together. It's like one of my favorite Jay-Z quotes came out of his book, not even a song. He said, to tell the story of a kid with a gun without telling why he has the gun is like telling a fucking lie. He didn't say fucking lie. It was just a lie, y'all. But it's telling a lie. You can't just talk about, he walking around with a gun. Why, bitch? Why do I need it? Like, and that's it. And that's why I like to open shit up to everything. Even when we was talking about the homophobia, like, all right, well, we can talk about it. We can talk about where it came from. And I know niggas be homophobic, way homophobic. Like, we got to look at how this happened, how we got there, and that's this. Yeah, we can talk about Kendrick.
Yeah, we're going to do it in another, the next episode that you're a part of, we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, but fuck Andrew show.
Just watch the damn podcast.